The amount of people in Gen Z who just have an addiction casually and we act like it's normal is kinda insane. We were the first test group of the internet's effect on a younger generation, and now that everyone—
That is true too. Like, we were the first iPad kids. Like, Gen Z really got fucked up hard by the internet, especially like Gen Alpha. Like, I feel like Gen Alpha is gonna be as computer illiterate as like Boomer. Lock in, homies, because today we're gonna be watching the age of addictions. And to be honest, I feel like, yeah, we're in the age of addiction. I mean, I got a vape sitting next to me. One of these, if you know, you know, it's almost empty. To be fair, I feel like we're in the age of addiction where we're all looking at our phones. We're all vaping, we're fucking partying, drinking, doing all sorts of stuff. That's no shocker. I mean, even in the 20s, we were drinking and smoking cigarettes and doing all sorts of stuff. Like, this is not news. Addiction has always been a thing ever since the Stone Age, when they used to pick tobacco out of the fields and shove it in their pipes and fucking smoke that shit. Like, addiction has always been a thing. Nowadays, it's more rampant than ever because, like, we're all so rotted, and ever since COVID happened and we had nothing to do but sit around and vape and look at our phones, it's just gotten worse and worse. So I'm curious to see what this guy has to say. Let's just hop right into it.
Addictions have always been a thing in this world, and it's inevitable people get them. Each generation has had a different set of ones affect them more compared to the next. Boomers were more addicted to cigarettes and alcohol, being the victim of the tobacco.
And I could never really understand the whole, like, I mean, I actually was addicted to cigarettes for a good, like, year. I could never understand the alcohol thing because, like, it just tastes fucking disgusting. And so do cigarettes, don't get me wrong, but, like, alcohol is another level of disgusting because it burns, and it burns bad. If you've ever had like a shot of like liquor or something, it's disgusting. It is like dishonorably disgusting. Like, a cigarette is disgusting, don't get me wrong. It's not nearly the level of disgust that like a shot of any type of high proof alcohol is.
Industry and having them pay off doctors to say things like this.
You know, this night work's kind of rough, isn't it?
And you know, that's the funny part too, is that like one of the shining examples of the industry being corrupt is the meta industry pushing cigarettes in the fucking like 50s and 60s. If that's not telling you that we are corrupt, I don't know what the fuck is. And you can't tell me that that doesn't happen today.
That's right. But a camel's always a pleasure.
Yes, folks, the pleasing mildness of a camel.
Look at the smile on his face. That is the smile of someone getting paid $30K to tell you that cigarettes taste great.
Is just as enjoyable to a doctor as it is to you or me.
But hey, it's all good. They made it for that stress by beating their millennial children for asking them to get a toy. Millennials and Gen X are more addicted to alcohol.
See, that was another thing that was common, beating your children to get them to do what you told them to do. What the hell did you think was going to happen when you beat your kids? That they were going to listen to you and enjoy talking to you when they became an adult?
Alcohol and prescription drugs. And also posting the most cringe content you'll ever see on TikTok.
Oh god, yeah, fucking millennials on TikTok, Jesus Christ. Like, don't get me wrong, not every old dude, or like, millennials aren't old, but you get what I mean. Like, every person on TikTok that's older, shall I say, isn't cringy, but like, there are a lot of people on TikTok that genuinely just don't understand how to be like internet literate, shall I say, and it just comes off as extremely cringe.
I guess that's what happens when you were the victim of the generation that would beat you just because. You know what? If they're having fun on their side of the internet, I'm happy for them. And of course—
That's true too. Like, I mean, there's always a side of the internet. Like, I'm on my side, you know? People on the beauty side of the internet, people on like the financial side. Like, there are communities on the internet. If you want to do you pick your community and you go do that. That's like the neat part of the internet, is that like, if you don't like where you're at on the internet, just fucking go somewhere else.
Of course, we end up with the dump of all that, which is Gen Z. But I think we're kind of different because before you had to do a little more searching in the past generations to get that addiction. You know, like have the money to buy.
Yeah, like dude, nowadays everybody has weed and fucking fentanyl in their back pocket. Like seriously, it is not that hard to find a plug. Everybody on like Snapchat and Instagram is selling. Like everybody is a plug. And like they'll advertise it too. Like I swear to God, they're like, oh, I have ops. But then like on their fucking Instagram, they're posting, just made 100K today off of my fan. Dude, you don't have ops. If you did, you wouldn't be public about your shit.
Buy a cigarette or alcohol. But now, because of the digital age, it's made it almost impossible for Gen Z to not have an addiction. The amount of people in Gen Z who just have an addiction casually and we act like it's normal is kinda insane. We were the first test group of the internet's effect on a younger generation, and now that everyone—
That is true too. Like, we were the first iPad kids. Like, Gen Z really got fucked up hard by the internet, and that really is like damaging us in a huge way. Especially like Gen Alpha. Like, I feel like Gen Alpha is gonna be as computer illiterate as like boomers, but like they're gonna grow up around technology. They're gonna click on a scam email. They're gonna like get a virus and they're not gonna know what the fuck to do. And they're just gonna like get all their fucking data stolen, even though they're literally born into a world of technology. But that's the problem. They're born into it. They weren't born on the cusp of it where they were taught how to use their technology. There's gonna be so much they won't know how to use it. They're just kind of like shoved into it.
Everyone's on the internet 24/7. Like 90% of people have an addiction
because of the internet.
So I want to talk about all the ones that are getting pushed and more amplified with us, I would say. And we could start off with food. Okay, food didn't start with us, and Gen Z isn't even the fattest generation. But because of—
depending, you know, because I've seen some fat ass Gen Zers, but also boomers and Gen Xers are like, I've seen some pretty fucking fat ones, especially on my side of the family. They can get pretty fucking shit.
Online ads and social media ads is very easy to push. We haven't even paid attention to the thought of how many food delivery apps we have. Bro.
That too, that does not help with the weight problems in America. Doesn't help with the money problems either. People will be financing their DoorDash deliveries.
Growing up, I remember the most you could deliver to your house was a pizza. It would be late night, and if you were craving something and didn't want to drive to an actual physical location, your ass had to order some Domino's or Papa John's. I know it had to suck working at one of those places back then though, because the amount of prank calls that would go viral on YouTube of people just trolling them was
prank calls, like, even as a child, I used to like not understand why people would do prank calls, because I used to just feel bad for the people on the other end of the prank call. A prank call that doesn't mean too much. It's just like, oh, is your refrigerator running? Better go catch it. Genuine prank calls that make the person get up, go out and do stuff, and just to find out it's a waste of time. Like, you're a scumbag. You made that person actually waste their fucking time. Like, you're a waste of space. It's like people that go and fuck shit up in stores and make the retail workers have to go clean it up for views. Like, it's just, fuck you, dude. TikTok views are not worth the fucking mental anguish of employees. You fucking fuck. Burn in hell.
Astronomical. Like, this channel Ownage Pranks used to go A1 back in the day. Bro would spout the most stereotypical racist accent to a worker and ruin their day. And you don't even need the delivery apps anymore. If you just download the fast food apps, they get it delivered for you. You know, you got your Chick-fil-A's, McDonald's, Taco Bell, Food, Chipotle. Wait, what? Yeah, believe it or not, that was a real delivery service app.
Hold up. What the fuck?
Until it got taken down. I wonder how such a family-friendly thing could violate Apple's terms of service. And if you download one of these food apps, you could save like half your costs by using them. They make it easier than ever to get big backed, because they'll give you the best deals ever that for some reason they don't offer if you don't order on the app. And quarantine at my biggest backers, I was trapping off that McDonald's app getting a free large fry with a $1 purchase. You got with 2 million McDonald's points who order basically every day for the past—
Yeah, see, that's also a thing. Like, people will be like, but I have points. I ordered my McDonald's with points today. You know, that order costed you like $80 fucking dollars. You did not save money. Shut up.
Last 4 years. At that point, do you get to meet Ronald McDonald or something? Because that has to deserve some type of reward. TikTok got to be the biggest influence for food nowadays though. Because how many times have you seen a food spot on TikTok and it's near you? And you think to yourself, well, damn, now I gotta try it to see what the hype is. With traveling nowadays, everyone's go-to when looking for food is going to TikTok to see what the people are saying is the best.
True, but also I always see food places on TikTok, realize that I'm in the middle of fucking nowhere and that I will never be able to drive to those food places, because even though like some of them are where I live, because I live where I live in the place that I live, if that even makes sense, I cannot drive there because like it's like 50 miles away. So it'd be like 100-mile drive there and back. So it's like, why the fuck would I do that for one meal? That's stupid.
I always think how insane Keith Lee's come up was, and it shows how big backed we really are, because he quite literally will go to a food spot, give a review, and all it takes is a God damn, that's good. And the whole restaurant.
Yeah, like literally. I remember when they would get clowned. Do you all remember back in like fucking 2016 or 2017 to like 2020? Like we would make fun of these people because let's be real, they deserve it. When you sit there and eat food in your car and go, so yummy, you're not making content, you're eating food in your car.
It's fully booked up for the rest of the year. That's not a diss either, by the way. You know what I'm saying? We F with Keith Lee over here. And then you got those mukbang videos that became popular where they're eating gargantuan masses of food.
I fuck with mukbangs though, and before you get on me about the hypocrisy of what I just fucking said, mukbangs are completely different because for one, it's kind of a challenge to eat all that food, and for two, usually there's like storytelling going on, you know, like because the video is so fucking long, it's like an interaction, and sometimes it's a live stream because again, it's a mukbang, it's long. They'll be doing stuff, you know, like talking to chat and whatnot, so it's like an experience. It's not just sitting and eating food in your car for a minute and getting like millions of views.
I learned that some people watch these because they want to feel like they're literally eating the food, but their stomach can't take it, so they watch someone else do it. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with them. I just get sick and want to yak out a car window after looking at these. If you eating like this, you dead ass abusing your stomach wall lining. Next, we got vaping. For all the people who watch me and vape, I just want to let you.
Yup.
No, you're bigger than the vape. So do me a favor and put it down for your health
No, I'm not gonna do it.
now and your future. And pick up a cigarette like a real. I always find it's so insane that our generation was bombarded with PSAs about smoking and the harmful effects of it. Everyone ended up
Yeah, literally everywhere you would go in school was like PSAs about like how harmful smoking was and about like how you shouldn't do drugs and have sex, abstinence and all sorts of shit. And now my generation is doing the literal opposite. They're having as much fucking sex as they possibly can, riding in the streets, smoking as much cigarettes and vaping as much as they possibly can, doing fentanyl and drinking. You can't stop anybody from doing anything by a couple of encouraging words, I promise.
we wouldn't be affected by it as much and be a much more healthy generation until they release flavors with the name Mango Cherry Freeze and Fortnite carts that no one knows the origin of to change.
Bro, if you buy a Fortnite or a Mario Kart or like a Minecraft movie Steve cart, you actually need to fucking go outside. Like, there's no way you're making an informed decision based off of the fucking packaging on the cart. Like Slurp Juice Hybrid, please tell me this isn't a real product. Like, this looks like a real camera like a picture, but like I know AI is actually good enough to fucking generate something like this. I hope this is AI generated. It's fucking blue. I just realized it. The cart is blue. This is the legitimate color of it. Again, there's not much in there, but it's like an amber color. It's supposed to be amber. Like, it's not supposed to be fucking blue.
I knew our generation was going to be the most addicted to it when I would walk in the school bathroom and casually see two in a stall with clouds of smoke coming out of it. And you'd have some dude on lookout paying attention to the sound of the jingling of keys to tell if a staff member was around or not.
It wasn't really like that in my school. Mostly in my school, what you had to worry about was like teachers coming into the bathroom to use the bathroom, because like some of the teachers, the way that like the bathrooms were laid out, the teacher bathrooms were like in the basement of the school. Let's just be honest, some of the teachers probably wouldn't even be able to make it. They were like 80 years old. They would probably shit themselves before they made it to the bathroom. You would just mainly just have to watch for teachers coming into the bathroom to use it. They would never really like scout for teenagers vaping, even though, let's be real, the school knew there were teenagers vaping in the bathroom. They probably just didn't care at that point.
Then they start fumbling around and waving the smoke around to try to hide it. I didn't even know how bad it was at first though, until I found out kids in elementary school are doing it too. As a
Hey,
kid,
that's fucking crazy. But I was on Omega one time and I actually saw like fucking like 6-year-olds vaping. As a parent, you need to step in and do something. Like, where are you? Parents, where are you that you're like 6-year-old, that like your 4-year-olds are vaping?
kid in elementary school, where the fuck are you getting the money to even afford that? Are you selling your rare Fortnite
That too, like, who is selling you these and where's the money for you to get these?
or something than ordering them on eBay? According to statistics, 3.5% of middle schoolers in America vape as well. Low-key, we gotta bring back
3.5% is a lot of people.
those scary anti-smoking ads. Because I remember when I was a kid being terrified of the thought of smoking. They would show the
Honestly, when I was a kid, I didn't even fucking pay attention. I would literally see those and just be like, oh my fucking god, shut the fuck up and let me watch Gumball!
diagram of a healthy lung versus smoker lung. lung and I would have nightmares for the rest of the week. And no, you can't quit at any time. If you're somebody that has to sit there and reason with your friends like you're making a deal on Wall Street that you can, then let me introduce you to the last stage of grief, acceptance.
Yeah, see, and that's another thing too. Like, I think I might have once tried to convince my friends that I could quit or something, but like when I realized that I was in the cycle of addiction, I just folded. I knew instantly.
It's okay to accept the fact that the rest of your friends are gonna live amazing, willing, full lives until 80, 90, or 100, and at 40 you're gonna drop randomly in your kitchen after those mango cherry freeze chemicals reach your heart. And weed smokers, where y'all going? Cause y'all ain't safe from this either. In general, I think out of
yeah, I was waiting for it. I do both, but I'm just saying, like, these motherfuckers better be catching some heat too.
Weed smoker and vape smoker, the weed smoker is usually more healthy, mainly because the product doesn't have
I can't even say that weed smokers are more healthy. There hasn't really been a lot of studies done on weed to begin with because it's been illegal. So like cigarettes and alcohol, we know the side effects of like what they do to you, but like we have like no research on weed and it's still not federally legal even though it's state legal in a lot of states. So that really puts a hindrance on what we can research on weed. You can make the argument that it's healthier, and it might be. It probably is compared to like cigarettes or some shit. Like you have no idea what the psychological like decline might be, or like if it gives you psychosis in the long run, if it might. There might be a whole subset of symptoms later in life that you have no idea it might create in the long run. Like you have no idea. We haven't studied it fully. So I don't know if you could just straight up make that claim yet.
Mysterious chemicals imported from a factory in Beijing. Nowadays though, they be lacing the hell out of that weed, so I don't even know about that anymore. You could be picking up what you think is some regular saw from your local dealer, and it ends up being laced with fent, raccoon, and pee.
Yeah, that is true. See, that's why, and I even hesitate to say just go to a dispensary, because even dispensaries be putting shit like PGRs, which if y'all don't know, it's literally just like GMOs but weed style, and it's just not okay. Like, yeah, I don't need my weed to be larger and more, what do I say, juicy and plump, I guess, if that's a way to put it, if it just doesn't hit the same.
The most annoying thing about weed smokers is they do the same thing as vape smokers, saying they can quit at any time, but they'll also
let's just be fucking real. You cannot. Weed is just the same as vaping and alcohol. You can get addicted to it.
Argue with you, saying it makes them more productive, and they'll bring up successful people that do it as an example, like I don't know, Snoop Dogg or Wiz Khalifa.
As if Snoop Dogg isn't a lazy ass motherfucker.
The person saying it though, 99% of the time is never productive. Like you ask them what they did through the week, and it's take a shower once, rage on Valorant, goon to Sophie Rain, then smoke 7.
That is true too. Like a lot of these stoners out here are just like not even lazy, they're just unproductive. Like when I say Snoop Dogg is lazy, I don't mean like he's because again, he's a great artist. He's productive. You could be late, like I'm lazy, you know, and I guess unproductive in a way. My bad. I don't post much. No, my point is though, is that like you could be lazy and still produce and make good things, but still be lazy about it. But like when you're lazy and unproductive, it creates what he just described.
7 times. If you're not one of those productive people using it, then you can't say it. And you'll also never be as productive as someone sober in that time. It's so bad, you got who will work the whole week, then half of their paycheck is going to some rolling papers and that flight duck pack. I think
literally that too. There are people, and this kind of goes towards like how expensive weed gets in dispensaries, but even still, like limit yourself, because there are people who will get like thousands of dollars and like pounds of weed because they just smoke that much.
The reason why the rise of addictions and smoking weed is because it's so easy to access nowadays. They got whole apps meant to deliver strains to people, and you can go on Snapchat and casually see 10 dealers in a 1-mile radius. Back then, people were scared of getting caught, especially when the internet wasn't a thing.
Yeah, like it was all discreet, and like you had to actually find a plug. You had to like search far and wide. Now it's not like that. Like he said, you could literally just go on Snapchat and find a bunch of people.
Plus, it was a lot more penalized, so people didn't take the risk. Next, we got gooning. I already made a whole video on this, so we don't gotta spend a lot of time on this. But the algorithms nowadays, more than ever, are meant to fuel horniness. Like, have y'all ever opened your Instagram feed or TikTok?
Yeah, dude, like literally I'll open my phone and it's not even like oh, I'm gonna open my phone, check my YouTube analytics, and then get off. No. I will open my phone, accidentally click the shorts button, and like that.
TikTok feed and they're literally throwing it in your face. No matter how many times I click not interested, it doesn't work. I think they have the button there just for fun.
And that too, the not interested thing, the amount of times I hear, well, if you don't like it, you should just click not interested. I tried! And it did not work. I promise you, it did not work.
The best platform I see optimized where I don't see it is YouTube because my algo was built brick by brick. It still happens though, trust me. Like somebody watching this probably got some freaky AI chatbot ad. But on Instagram and TikTok, they purposely don't listen to me.
Those, I'm so sorry for pausing so much, but those chatbot apps, like those things are so fucking annoying to come across. Like I'm seeing this one called like fucking Fantasia or whatever the fuck, and then like I forget what this other chatbot was called, but there's like these two chatbot apps. It's so cheesy because they keep putting like these AI depictions of these characters from like shows, and then like one of these ones was from like Ben 10's sister or something, and I haven't watched Ben 10, but I'm pretty sure she's a minor. So like it just makes me question why YouTube is even keeping these ads up. It's lol.
I just want one person to do some research on these algorithms and see if they got a horny piece of code written in there. A lot of people also talk about why were we so sexual at a young age, which is kind of true, you know, when I think about it. It's a mix of things. One being the internet, although it's not as bad as now. Like
the reason we're so sexual, it's not even just the fact that like, you know, there's porn addictions and all sorts of other stuff. It's literally because of the way that Gen Z has grown up into society. I think our generation just doesn't respect sex the same way that other generations did. Now that I'm thinking about it, humanity in general just never has respected the sanctity of sex. And that's gonna really disturb all the other generations because they'll be like, well, I stayed married for 50 years. Yeah, well, let me just check your history real quick because I know for sure your secretary had a little fun with you. Even all the way back in the 1850s, the rich people would still find their secretaries and cheat on their wives. This has always been a fundamental issue where humans will fill this like empty hole of desires with this like sick and twisted idea of like, I must do something different. And I don't care what that different is, even if it fucks up the things that are going good for me, I'm gonna do that something. So like, I don't think this is just a generational problem. I think it's popping up in Gen Z in the form of a sexual manner, which again has always been the case, but more rampant now because like definitely the media, you know, like porn, like TV shows, stuff like that definitely doesn't help. And obviously Gen Z ourselves, we like push the sex culture around and literally treat each other like sex dolls. Like, don't get me wrong, that doesn't help. I feel like this is an issue just beyond Gen Z. Like, I feel like this is an issue within humanity, within the fact that we like forbidden fruit kind of a thing, which is again why it's an addiction, you know, like humans are drawn to addiction. Like this is a fundamental issue with humanity and it's not just like a generational issue.
Gen Alpha kid with unmonitored access in 2025 is probably gonna win this corn at the age of 7. Probably a mix of us looking at these Disney stars when we were kids and thinking of some freaky. The crazy thing to me was the shift of how OF stars and corn stars were perceived. Back then, I remember when a girl got leaked, it was the worst thing to happen to her life. Like,
actually, like when I've never even seen this happen to one of my schools. I can imagine that like nowadays nobody would fucking care. Like that's just a common occurrence. Like anybody just be having an OF, anybody be selling their body on the internet.
Like her whole sacred temple was exposed to the world, or just somebody ousted as doing that line of work. They would never want that info out. But nowadays, if you see a link tree in that bio, it's like a Russian roulette of if you'll see an OnlyFans link or not. It's just a casual thing now to see someone naked online. Never in my life growing up, I would think someone I went to high school with would start one, but I'm about 0 to 3 wrong, so good thing I didn't put a bet on that. Oh, and speaking of bets, gambling is next. Parlays have by themselves ruined
now, gambling fucking confuses me. There's a genuine thrill in everything he just mentioned. Sex and drugs and like watching your phone and all that shit. That gives you a thrill. Gambling literally does nothing but takes money from you. Where is the thrill in that? And you know you're not gonna win unless you know how to play the system. Like, there's like a handful of people, and like one of them that I know of that I've seen on YouTube shorts that like actually know how to beat the casinos. And from what I'm aware of, those casinos literally try to kick you out and ban you. Like, casinos are literally made to rob you of your money. So how is that addicting? I don't understand it.
Financial dreams of millions of Gen Z. Because with parlays, it feels like you're not putting much up. And if you already hate your job or you're trying to make it out, you're gonna take the risk and throw in something you can lose, like $10 or $20. But that ends up adding up, and as you keep losing, you end up losing like half your week's salary over some stupid ass prediction. My opinion is sports gambling is way more of a problem for us than traditional.
Man, I guess that is true. It's not just casinos, like sports gambling and all sorts of shit. Gambling in general, just stop gambling.
Gambling, like, I feel like that was the problem more back then. Although we definitely got our addicts for that too. Kick as a platform is pretty much meant as a funnel to stake where you can play slots to your heart's desire. Sports betting wouldn't even be that bad if everyone doing it actually had the disposable income to. But there should be no reason your whole paycheck is going on a bet. And it's really hard to stop because when you do get those wins, you always think you could get one potentially with another bet. And I don't know about y'all, but I've been getting a whole lot
See
more.
that too, like pausing it so much. I'm so sorry. I just have to get my 2 cents in. There are people out there that will actually win, and then they'll go back and then they'll lose it all. And I'm talking casino shit again, but like, I mean, his logic applies everywhere. It's gambling. There are people who will go to a casino and win like millions or like even hundreds of thousands, and they'll like just come back to the casino and gamble it again and then lose it all. And this is how casinos work. They know that shit and they don't care. They'll fucking rob you. They're soulless.
Or sports betting app ads a lot. It makes no sense too because I live in Texas. I can't even gamble here. So why are they even pushing it here when it's banned? Like, it makes zero sense to me. It's almost like they know people can use VPNs to do it anyways. And they be giving some crazy ass bonuses just for you to join and make a single bet. Like, who wouldn't take a free $100 to bet for just a tiny risk of forever being indebted to the app and watching every single one of the 500 bets you made in the past week? Just a tiny risk though. The sports betting industry growth is so insane when you look at the chart. Just 7 years ago,
Jesus Christ, what? The future of sports betting in the US, player losses in 4-year increments. Okay, from 2006 to 2030. So right now, we're looking at 6.1 billion next year. Look at that growth in 2 years and look at what it's going to be in the next 4. From 209 million to 4.5 billion. Like, it's been a multi-million-dollar business for like fucking 16 years. And I obviously you can't take this all verbatim. Like, let's just be real. This could be some random graph that he pulled off of like Google Images. If this is true, this is really fucking sad. And y'all need help.
Only $209 million, and now it's around $4 to $6 billion. If this ain't an indication of a recession, then I don't know what is. People's doing anything to get money. I guarantee there's some dads out there risking their paycheck and if their kids get to eat, just to see if the bet will hit of LeBron getting over 40 points in a game. Next, we got caffeine. And it's time to be open and honest, y'all. This is probably...
I'll be real. There was a point in time where I was consuming like, shit, what's like 3 rock stars a day? 160, so that would be times 3. Calculator, 160 times 3 is 480 milligrams of caffeine I would consume a day. Just to let you know, that is not good. You should not do that.
Well, I only take pre-workout on days I work out, which is 5 days in a week. Not really a good excuse though, but trust me, I can quit anytime. I just need a little powder sprinkled in my toothpaste to get my bones jolting. Caffeine addiction is probably the easiest one to get because when you're tired in a day and need a little boost, it's one of the few legal substances you can take to boost your energy. Sadly, they banned the original Coke formula, but I've heard there's ways to get around it. It also doesn't help that on TikTok, people will post their favorite coffee recipes or drink they got at Starbucks. Then people run to the store to get the exact same one to see what the hype is about. Everybody all of a sudden also started drinking matcha and making matcha everything.
Dude, Starbucks is so fucking overrated. Most of the TikTok trends, like the trendy drinks and shit, like the pink drink that they did, I didn't even try the pink drink because again, it's all just overrated trash. Most most of the time, like when like a drink or a food or like a product like the fucking Stanley Cups, when they go trending, the only reason they go trending is because the video that they were attached to went trending, not because the product is good.
Coffees, matcha pancakes, matcha noodles. A couple of years ago, would have seen something like this and fried you on the internet for even having it. But now all you gotta do is post a trying matcha noodles on TikTok and people will love it just because it's matcha. Where the f did all this matcha talk come from though? Like, matcha is cool.
Yeah, the matcha trend is just so fucking weird. And that's another thing I haven't ever tried. Like boba tea, matcha boba. Never tried that shit. I haven't tried boba or matcha. Does that make me like an out of style grandpa? Fucking
But how did they get to the point where we're facing potential global shortages of it because everyone's having
We have a fucking global shortage of matcha. Are you kidding me? Jesus Christ. Americans will literally overconsume anything for the simple fact of over-consuming it. You guys need to stop. Look me in the fucking eyes and tell me you will stop being a piece of fucking garbage. Stop taking everything away because you think it's trendy. It's not. It's fucking disturbing. Anyway, I think you guys got my point across.
Also, having energy drinks is more commonplace now. Like, I remember in the past, if you told someone you was drinking energy drinks, they thought you were cooked, providing for 4 different families on a one-man salary while getting 4 hours of sleep. Every company now, for some reason, has their own line of energy drinks.
Oh yeah, fucking Dwayne The Rock Johnson coming in with his own energy drink brand. I never tried that shit, but I imagine it's ass, just like Prime.
Like, who is dead ass drinking the toxic waste energy drink? And
oh, Jesus Christ. Fucking toxic wastes. I remember them shits in middle school. You ain't never be able to handle one of them. I remember this kid. Oh my god. Remember this kid that shoved like fucking 15 of those bastards in his mouth and genuinely had to get sent to the nurse because like blood started pouring out of his mouth.
Energy drink. Actually, that last one might not be too bad. Might just have me a grab it. I think caffeine addiction is also rising too because a lot more people are sleep deprived nowadays.
That is true. You'll be working like 3 jobs and you're still in a studio apartment full of rats.
Blessing for real if you can get 8 full hours of sleep in this time. So when people are tired, they say, why not? Let me just get 1 energy drink for the day. There is a very big risk with it though, and we can't forget. Energy drinks have only been getting used a lot more in the past 2 decades, so we still don't have long-term studies on their effects. And there's even tragic cases about it, like the case of Katie Donnell. Katie Donnell was a 28-year-old teacher and fitness enthusiast, and she always tried to live a healthy lifestyle and had a lot of caffeine through the day as one of the things. She would have 3 energy drinks a day and
imagine pairing she always tried to live a healthy lifestyle and 3 Red Bulls in the equation. I never claimed that I was healthy when I was drinking 3 Rockstars a day, I promise you.
Caffeine supplement on top of that before going to the gym. And by the way, the recommended max amount of caffeine you're supposed to have in a day is 400 milligrams. Depending on how
and I was clocking 480. I was going over the recommended limit. Again, don't do what me and this motherfucker was doing. I promise you, it's not healthy.
much caffeine those drinks had, she could have been having like 2x or 3x the daily limit. But even if they were smaller amounts, I think we can all agree that just the sound of having 3 energy drinks a day is insane. And
it is insane. It's really insane. And when I realized it, just no.
2021, Katie had a heart attack and had to be put in the hospital, where 10 days later, she sadly passed away from the effects of it. So if you're near having 3 drinks a day, it might be time to reconsider how many you're having. The best schedule for people that do want to have caffeine is 5 days a week with at least 2 days off it. The more you have it, the more tolerant you get to it. So it's always better to have a little reset just so the effects still hit. It's also a problem.
Yeah, I'll say on those weekends, on the weekend days, just fucking sleep in. Like, you literally have nothing to do. You don't need caffeine on the weekends.
Too, that kids are now starting to have energy drinks. When Prime released its energy drinks, there was parents complaining that their kids were having them and it was causing problems. I don't know what type of stress these is even going through to be having energy drinks. I only started drinking them after having some adult type responsibilities. Before 18, I wasn't having them. And once again, parents strike again at—
Nah, when I was like fucking like 16, Now, okay, I did drop out of high school at 16. To be fair, there were reasons. I have explained this on stream, and I might explain it later if y'all want me to. I did drop out of high school. So when I was like a teenager, I was drinking energy drinks at my goddamn minimum wage job, slumming it up. You know how it be. I guess for everybody, it's different, you know? Some people be taking, because they be studying for them straight A's, they be taking energy drinks for fucking like 2 a.m. studying, and they just won't sleep. They go to school next day.
And not monitoring their kids, because how do they even get access to these energy drinks? Since I said
that's another thing. Isn't Prime an energy drink? Weren't kids just like drinking Prime in excess, even though it was like literally considered an energy drink? How much caffeine is in Prime? I just have to know. Hold on, let me get my setup actually set up for like proper typing, because I have my keyboard all the way across my desk, because I was playing some like high tier Osu gameplay. Logan Paul, so 200 milligrams, 200 fucking milligrams of caffeine in Logan Paul or Jake Paul, whoever the fuck, I don't know. I don't pay attention to the names of the dudes that make it, but like, bro was literally shoving that into kids' bodies. He put it in those fucking lunchlies, bro. Mr. Beast rep that. Remember that when you guys think that these philanthropists are nice people.
Then when I work out, we might as well throw gym in there as an addiction. Some of y'all might think it's odd that gym is here, but if you see how fitness social media is now, you know how bad it can get. There's been a lot more of a rise in gym influencers since 2020.
Yeah, a lot of these guys just like take roids and then act like they're cool on the internet. I'm not saying all of them do it. There are a lot of cool people on the internet that are fucking gym goers, but like, I see a lot of fucking tools on the internet that are just like, if you're not pushing 240, then you're not a man.
I'm glad the gym is becoming way more popular though, because in general, it's good for everyone's health. But the lengths some people take to look like some of the influencers online is unbelievable.
And you'll never look like them. They get like special lights and edit themselves, actually perfect the photo and the video. And on top of that, like he's about to show, they fucking inject themselves with all sorts of chemicals to fully like transform themselves into the perfect version of what they believe is the perfect version of themselves. Like, and the reason I say it that way is because the perfect version is not drugs. Like, the perfect version of a bodybuilder is not steroids and perfectly edited photos. It's a natural build built from muscle. That's the perfect version. You don't need drugs. Like, I honestly just really hate this whole industry and the way that we've built beauty, and I hate it so much.
Universally known now that a lot of influencers online straight up use performance enhancing drugs to look the best. One of the biggest known cases I would say is The Rock. Everyone knows for his physique at his age, it's almost impossible for him to look like—
How old is The Rock? Because bro looks like he's still in his mid 40s. 53, Jesus Christ. Yeah, bro's gotta be hitting the roids.
this without taking some type of performance enhancing drug. He always denies it and says he doesn't use them, which no one—
and that's another thing. Oh my God, I am pausing so much. I'm sorry. But that is another thing too. Like, you've got to be honest about your roid use. Like, at the end of the day, like, take roids, be a bitch, whatever, but then be honest. Like, don't make people feel like they can get your physique, because they can't. They literally cannot naturally get that.
believes. Because when your job is to look the best, a lot of these influencers and celebs feel like they have no choice but to take them to keep up with everyone. And people in the gym community point out all the time who may be fake or real. One of the biggest gym influencers on YouTube's job is literally predicting from years of experience what influencer or celeb transformation is real or fake. But even if
Greg Doucette is a goat,
the influencers doing it are natural, it's never good to compare yourself, because their entire job is meant to look good. Like, they can spend hours at a time in the gym every day to look like that. Meanwhile, the average person usually gets out of school or work and can have 1 or 2 hours max. And it leads to people thinking—
you know, that's one thing that upsets me too, is the schedule that is the 9 to 5 and going to school, because like, the fact that a child doesn't get max free time to themselves is absurd. You can fit what a child learns at school in like 3 or 4 hours and send them home without homework. To all the children watching this that are going to school and wondering why the fuck they have to be there and get sent home with homework, you don't have to be. That's just the simple fact of it, which that's if you haven't already realized that. If you haven't already gone through the questioning and realized, yeah, all this time I'm spending here and all this homework is fucking useless. Like, well, there you go. There's your answer. It's literally just not required. They fill that time with empty knowledge and space and homework to literally micromanage you into potential 9-to-5 worker, which by the way, in this current job market isn't even possible. Like, go to college, can't find a job anyway. But like, let's just say for the sake of the example, they mold you into this 9-to-5 worker and they push all this monotonous work on you that means nothing, specifically so that you are so brain dead by the time you get out of school. Your learning ability is so numb, you will never be able to even ask, why am I here at this position? Why am I here working at this company? I'm gonna get shot if I continue talking.
Have to take the same drugs those influencers are taking. Nowadays, there's people who will show their journey through taking steroids or testosterone casually. I guess it's kind of good they're being honest, but like, can you imagine people did this for any other drug? Imagine a meth addict showing their journey of taking it through the years.
That's true too. Like, literally steroids and all sorts of shit, like, that's illegal and they be posting that shit online.
Taking these drugs are getting younger and younger because they look up to these guys, ruining their whole body before it even got time to fully develop. It's okay to accept the fact that you probably won't reach their level, and if you do, it'll just take you significantly longer, which is fine. Like, bro, you got decades of your life to reach that type of build if you want to. You don't gotta rush it when you're young. And the reality is, you probably won't even want to keep up with that type of physique because it'll be too much work. The last category we got, which 90% of my audience will relate to, is unemployment. Unemployment is the new cool lifestyle that everyone's getting into.
Yeah, like, dude, I'm unemployed right now, but that's just the fact of life. Like, if you're actively seeking the state of unemployment, like, if you're in a spot where it's easy to get a job and like you had a job and you purposefully bombed it and you just suck as a worker and like you are just purposefully being unemployed, like, you deserve a smack to the face and just thrown off a building and just hit by a brick. I don't know when it became, maybe it's because the job market is so dried up and dead, but like, I don't know when it became cool to be unemployed. Like, no, it's not cool to be unemployed. Like, as somebody who's unemployed right now, it is one of the worst things that I've had to go through. Those who are unemployed that don't give a fuck and don't care to try to prop themselves up and help their family out potentially and all that stuff, like, you're a crap lord, you're a bitch, and you don't fucking deserve to like have the things that you have, to be honest, because you're not trying to maintain them. I mean, I have stopped, I guess, let's say, searching on job boards for jobs like I used to, mainly because it's just a sea of rejection. At the same time, I still do apply from time to time. You never fucking know. There's a sliver of hope I might get a job. Who fucking knows? That's just the thing of it. Like, you do what you possibly can and you find other ways around it. Like, I'm sitting here making this video for you guys in the hopes that people will watch it and I could build a community and make money off of that. You know, like, there is always something you can do that can help you up out of your situation. You don't have to just sit there and do absolutely nothing. You can do something. There's always something you can do. So like, these unemployed motherfuckers that just sit there and play games and eat Doritos and do literally nothing a damn with their day. You can't even make like a YouTube video or like a TikTok about being unemployed, maybe? Like, really?
I'm 34.
34? Okay, what do you do?
I am a risk taker. I'm a road runner. I'm an entrepreneur.
I mean, think of it. You can nibble off of someone else's work for free while laying down on a couch and watching your favorite TV show. Society's become so cooked that anyone who quits their job or anyone who's applied to more than 5 and got denied just give up and decide to live that lifestyle. You even mention the word job to certain and they start quivering in fear for their life. You know what? I'm feeling pretty evil today. Let's go ahead and go on a TOS run to get me packed out of here real quick. And I do want to put a disclaimer. What you're about to hear may be disturbing.
Yo, that screen was perfect.
Employment. Working. Career.
Dude, this is...
Business.
Yo.
Profession. Operation.
I thought that was gonna be it.
I feel free being able to say what I want. I feel like the world is in the palm of my hand. For some reason, even though it feels like no one is getting a job now, we're actually reaching low levels of employment, well, at least compared to 2020. Moment of silence for all my who were looking for a job during COVID. Glad that wasn't me, because God knows where I would be right now. The thing that's doomed Gen Z is as soon as finally started to get their degrees and get ready for the real world, AI had to advance at levels we never thought.
As somebody who learned scripting, I cannot explain to you the amount of frustration when I saw AI start to code. I don't think you guys understand. I don't have words, okay? I don't have words. And like, I didn't go to college, okay? But like, I still learned. I spent years. I learned a skill, a vital skill, and AI took that away from me. Do you understand? Like, I can still do it.
Not possible. I might have to make a video on just this alone. Man, we all thought AI would take jobs like fast food and have robots flipping burgers, but that's it. Now you got AI that can code entire—
No. Instead, what AI did was they took away everything fun. Stay away! I want to do that. You take care of the boring shit like building houses. Leave the creative things alone. Leave the monotonous things to the robots.
websites for free. You got AI that automatically run YouTube channels and generate them unlimited money. And for us, it was a big rush of people getting STEM degrees because everyone was saying that was the speed run to get a 6-figure job. It's great to know that all those degrees are completely useless now that those jobs are taken by AI. So no wonder everyone's giving up and are embracing their unemployment. And when GTA 6 drops, mark my words, will quit their jobs just to have time to play this once in a lifetime
Dude,
game.
I swear GTA 6 is so fucking overhyped. Like, they saw the jumping yacht and they immediately just assumed that the game is gonna be fucking amazing. And that's only until the PC version releases, and it's just not gonna run on absolutely anything. And also the PlayStation version releases, and it's gonna like run at an inconsistent 30 frames. Like, I swear to God, I could be completely wrong, and it's gonna run great and it's gonna look great and everything, but like, I don't know. I just feel like GTA 6 is gonna look like ass.
Really scared for the job market in that moment. Hospitals are gonna be empty from doctors and nurses trying to finish the GTA 6 storyline. So anyways, that's about it. If you don't align close to any of the things I mentioned, then congrats, you're one of the special ones. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. As always, I love you guys consensually. And until next time, I'm out.
Hell yeah, and that is the end of the video, and I appreciate you guys vibing out, staying locked in, and watching the video. And to be honest, I think that's a bit of an eye-opener, if anything, because like, our generation, I wouldn't say is the most fucked out of all generations, because future generations are definitely gonna be more fucked than we are if we don't get our shit together, but we are definitely pretty fucking fucked right now. And I've been saying fuck a lot, but you get what I mean. Like, we are cooked as a generation. So let me know what you guys' thoughts are as far as like the addictions that we're overcoming and the financial headache that we're overcoming and all sorts of stuff like that. And how is your life going? How has it been affecting you? Outside of that, if you guys did enjoy what you saw, make sure you leave a fat sub, a like, turn on that notification bell, and I'll catch you guys later.